Stare back. Don't blink. Don't show fear.
Hey everybody, and welcome back. It's another episode of the Bamsters News, this time on a Friday, but without the Bam. Yes, it's me, G. You're getting me in his place, and then in my place you're getting Drac. Say hi, Drac.
Hey, so without the Bam, does that mean it's just a Stirs News?
Yeah?
I know, it was bad.
It was bad.
So what do you got for us today, G?
Well, here on the 3rd of May, wow, it's already May 2019, we're starting off with one from our friends at Utomik. They have actually gone into a little business deal with the people behind the Indie Arena booth at Gamescom, where you can now get a free small booth or arcade at the Indie Arena booth at Gamescom for free if you're signed up with Utomik.
That sounds great, especially for really small, potentially struggling indies that don't have a lot of money to spend but need to get the word out about their game.
That's kind of it. This is excellent for any indies who's kind of going, we want to attend these events, and you know, they're the whole fear of missing out, but can't really afford it. If you're going to sign up with Utomik anywhere, if you're considering it, do so now. You have until May 10th, and you can get a free small booth. For those who don't want to sign up, or not quite there yet, there is a 50% discount on the booth as well that Utomik is helping out with.
That's still cool. So now what all does this cover? Is this basically just the space, or is it like tables and other stuff, or?
Well, normally that's all you get with a booth is just that bit of space and some power for whatever you need in internet access. So bring your own equipment. Usually you can get some kind of deal with hardware people. It's always worth asking around. And it's only the small booth. If you want something bigger, you're still on it. But again, if you want something bigger, then it's because you might already have the finances for it from other ways. Either way, reach out to Frank, or Stroopwafel as we know him, at utomik.com.
And we'll make sure there's a link in the description below that's got the direct link for the application at the Indie Arena booth site.
Of course. Now going away a little bit from gaming, because we shouldn't always just do gaming, we're taking entertainment. Huawei, the Chinese company that's apparently more or less banned all over the US, are working on their first TV, which might just be the world's first 5G 8K TV.
Do we really need 8K? I know, that's not really the question to ask, right?
Yeah, my first one would be, why would you need 5G cell phone thing in a TV? Are you going to carry it around a lot?
Well, I suppose it's good for outdoor parties near the pool, or if you decide you want to take a TV to the beach. So, I don't know. I guess it has its applications.
Yeah, you're still going to need, power and everything, but sure, why not? No, apparently their idea is that instead of having cable, VDSL, whatever you have, you can get this TV and its 5G modem, and you can hook up everything else that you need into that TV, so it gets internet access via the TV. Sort of a, let's just bundle everything together.
And then pay whatever cell phone provider for the internet connection, is that correct? It's going to go through the cell networks as opposed to like cable or DSL?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, and those unlimited packages you can buy a lot of times have data caps. Can you imagine how quickly that's going to go on a smart TV, especially if it's, streaming 4 or 8K TV packages?
Yeah, no, to me this sounds absurd. But the whole idea is, from Huawei's side, everybody should have 5G, 5G should be everywhere, and it should be cheap and fast and efficient, because Huawei is actually the only ones right now that have 5G modems. So, and they also sell the backbone, etc. which is part of what they're in trouble with around the world, but that's a bunch of politics. So they're basically everything involved in 5G Huawei makes. So they're interested in this. And just a reminder for anybody curious, Huawei is the second largest smartphone manufacturer, with Samsung being number 1, Apple being number 3. This is not a small company. Really not a small company.
So what kind of price range are we looking at for this 8K TV with a 5G modem in it?
No idea. Huawei has always, kind of set their prices low on purpose. They try to make it up on volume. But for references, Samsung's Q900 is also a 8K TV, $70,000. And Sony has an 8K TV as well, same price, $70,000.
Wow, and I thought vehicles were outrageously priced. That costs more than... You could buy 2 cars for that.
I've seen houses cheaper than that.
Yeah, living in California, I don't think I can find a house cheaper than that. But yeah, I know that prices do exist in different places in the country and the world where houses are cheaper than that. That's insane.
Yep.
And here I was hoping that an 8K TV was going to bring down the price of a 4K TV, but I guess might as well give up on that idea.
4Ks you can get for what, $1,500 now? I paid $1,600 for my 1080p Sony, not even full color range, whatever's TV. So yeah, 4Ks are cheap now.
Well, speaking of giving up on things, have you given up on Anthem? Apparently, so have parts of Bioware. The executive producer, Mark Dara, the lead producer, Michael Gamble, and lead director, Jonathan Warner, are all moving to work on Dragon Age 4, which, we kind of already knew they were working on the next Dragon Age game, or at least had started to do something with it. But, yeah, 3 major power players, I guess you would say, are moving over. And that'll be leaving... I kind of make the joke here that it's leaving these guys, these saps, to take the lead with Anthem, but the lead producer Ben Irving and head of live services Chad Robertson are basically going to be stuck with the task of trying to change the course of Anthem, because, I mean, lately the game, a lot of folks have been reporting problems with the few that are still playing, trying to get any kind of matchmaking going. I guess viewership on Twitch is down to, wasn't it like 50-something people? I don't know. It's insane. Just, I don't know. Game with a lot of potential that didn't live up to the hype, and unless they can fix things like the loot and some of the other things that you can, activities in-game, this thing's going to die out quick.
So most of this is a non-story. This is normal both for games with live services, but also just everything that Bioware has made in the past. Once it's released, people like, executive producers, lead producers, directors, move off the games and on to the next game. They are the core team that moves from game to game. And there's a bunch of people who then are assigned to this game to keep it running. Nothing here is out of the ordinary. And if you take, for example, Jonathan Warner, he was on Dragon Age 4 before he was moved on to Anthem. So he's just moving back to where he was before. He was moved over there for the purpose of helping them get the game out. So to me, Games Radar here is trying to report on something as if it's something big and, ooh, look what's happening. It isn't. It's just how the business works. There's another Bioware office. They are specifically designed to handle live games. That's where it's moving to.
I think the only reason that this may bring some focus on this, or at least in my mind, is just because of the fact that the game was not doing so well, and now, some of these folks who have held lead positions, you would think that they might keep those folks on the project longer if they wanted the project to improve, but they're moving them off, and so at least the story that they're putting out here that we were reading is, it kind of makes you feel like Well, like I was saying, like they were giving up on it, or that they're moving off to do other things because Anthem wasn't making the money that they hoped it would.
Well, there is that, you know. Let's see if EA kind of freaks out with the revenue they've had. Sometimes they freak out and go terrible and then just close things, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, but speaking of live service stuff, there is a rumor going around, and this is, you know, heavy air quotes rumor right now. The Dragon Age 4 could potentially have live service elements as part of its game.
Didn't Dragon Age 3, Mass Effect 2 and 3 all have that? What's new here?
I think when they're talking live service, they're talking like potential like microtransactions and things like that. When I look back at the first 3 Mass Effect games, I bought the game, I played through the game. I'm not talking about like DLCs and stuff like that, but I don't remember there being any kind of, and maybe they were added later on.
You get plenty of cosmetics, at least in the third of both Dragon Age and Mass Effect.
Yeah, I played the first 2 Dragon Ages. I didn't play the third one very much.
So, but if they were going to, man, I would have loved something set like Dragon Age 3 to be a live game. Similar to the Division. That could have been fun. That had the scope of it. Dragon Age 4, no, because we know what the goal is. The goal is, we know what the next bit in the story is. That's the Dread Wolf, and I hope for an intimate story there. Sort of, sorry, Dragon Age 2-ish, because that was much more intimate than the other ones, in my opinion. I don't think we're going to get this super grand scale thing.
Yeah, I guess only time will tell. We'll have to wait and see.
True. Okay, should we jump to something completely different?
Yeah, let's do it.
Because I found this one, I thought that was interesting. CDC, the Center of Disease and Something Control in the US, saying that there's an epidemic of e-scooter injuries that could easily be prevented.
Yeah, it's called paying attention.
Yeah. Apparently, there's been a surge of emergency room visits across the US after these things started coming out. And these are, kick scooters that are electrical, so you can stand and turn a little handle to make it move, or you can use it as a kick scooter and it will just sort of help you along. And usually they're all over the place. I refer to it as Lyme disease, because that's one of the companies that have them. They're all over the place, so when you walk out of metros and whatnot, bus stops, you're tripping over these damn things. And you throw in €1 and it will scooter you around. Now, these injuries, I think this is the kind of important one. We can say all we want about people tripping and falling and not paying attention, but 45% of them are head trauma. People are riding them without helmets, and they're actually hurting their face and their skull and the thing inside their skull. So, step 1, consider wearing a helmet.
Well, look, I use these things probably twice a month, sometimes a little more. Here's the thing. Well, because where I end up having to park my car can be a little bit far out, so I'll pick up a scooter and get myself to work quicker, and same thing getting home. But look, yeah, they're fun to ride, but come on, it's not that difficult. You follow the same rules that the rest of traffic does. You're not supposed to be riding on the sidewalk with them anyway, though I see plenty of people doing that. And yeah, wear a helmet. There's nothing wrong with wearing a helmet.
The don't ride them on the sidewalk might be a local rule. I think a couple of places over here, that's the only place you're allowed to ride them.
Okay. Yeah, I know that they don't... I don't know the specific legalities. I know they don't want you riding on them on the sidewalk here, and the app will even warn you, like, please don't ride on the sidewalk, that kind of thing. But I did hear a rumor from somebody that they were ticketing people, both who were either A, riding on the sidewalk, or B, riding without a helmet. Because of the fact that this thing has a motor in it, it's supposed to be treated like a car would be treated, and you can't ride the car on the sidewalk. And you know, since there's no seatbelt to wear, but a helmet is required since it's got a motor in it. So I have seen cops pull people over riding these things. So, you know, look, I get it. If you're visiting somewhere, if you're, you know, a tourist somewhere, you may not have a helmet to wear. Be a little more aware of your surroundings if you're going to use one of these things. You know, don't just assume you can go zipping on and off the sidewalk and through traffic and people are going to stop for you. Yeah, I don't know. Common sense, man. Just use some common sense and pay attention to your surroundings.
Yeah, pay attention to where the cars are and consider just riding on bike paths, wherever mopeds are allowed usually. The other headache is, of course, also, I should say, be aware of your surroundings. Just, it's not always easy to see potholes and cracks in the streets. Wow, as somebody who's biked a lot, those things are nasty, and I don't want to hit them with the small wheels that you have on those scooters.
That is the only time I ever ran into a little bit of trouble, is like when I'm crossing railroad tracks, or, yeah, if there happens to be a pothole that I couldn't get out of the way of quickly enough. But yeah, I mean, those things you definitely got to watch out for, but yeah, it comes down to paying attention.
Don't use them.
Why not? They're fun.
They're blocking everything. They're blocking when you get out of subways, metros, bus stops, going around corners. They're just freaking everywhere.
Well, see, now that's a whole nother topic about people being courteous about putting them where, you know, putting them away. You know, because you shouldn't be putting these things, blocking things like that, blocking entrances.
Oh no, that's
park them outside of
the. Back home in Denmark, I know in Copenhagen, Lime just started putting them all over the sidewalk. That was the company, just leaving them on sidewalks, places where shops have been told you can't put anything out here because it might block the side road or sidewalk. Lime shows up, just puts their scooters there, blocking the whole damn thing.
Yeah, you're supposed to be putting this stuff out of the way. You should not be blocking any kind of walkway or entryway.
So, but sorry if I sound a little bit pissed or salty about that. Perhaps I should go to Burger King.
Oh yeah? That's one hell of a segue. Tell me why.
Yeah, Burger King is now countering Happy Meals with their real meal, as they call them, where you can get a you can get a pissed meal, a salty meal, a blue meal, the Yas meal, and DGAF, don't give a fuck meal.
I'm kind of surprised that this is, because of the language that's involved, that it's being marketed at kids. I heard a little bit about this on a radio station on the way into work yesterday, and when they said "yes meal," I changed the station. I was like, "Oh, I'm not listening to this." So, of course, you would bring it up in the news, and I got to listen to it again.
Yeah, I'm with you. My kid said yes the other day. I tried to change her. Nobody wanted it. I don't know though if they're really targeting or marketed to kids. They don't sound that way. The little I've seen, because this is US only, so we don't have them over here. It's about, well, they talk about pervasive nature of social media and pressure to appear happy and perfect. I'm not saying kids don't have that, but I don't think for starters, kids should be allowed on social media. It's more, this feels like it's targeting adults who are just too busy on the Instagram.
It could be, but this seemed like it's kind of a direct contrast to the McDonald's Happy Meal, which is a kid's meal.
Oh yeah, that it is. It's a real meal instead of a Happy Meal.
Okay.
And there was the toilet. But you can also see how it talks about they've partnered with the Mental Health America for Mental Health Awareness Month, which is May, right now. You know, I would assume the material they put out will kind of sort of show that. I'm just hoping they should do this in the UK. Pissed means something else over there.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I like one pissed meal.
Yeah. I might want to order one of those in the UK.
Yeah, sorry mate, it's only in New York, Los Angeles, Seattle, Austin, Texas, and Miami.
Oh, so then I don't even get to see that here down where I'm at in Southern California.
Los
It
Angeles.
sounds like they're testing the market.
Yeah, it's testing market, but there's nothing special in the meal. It's just the box. Comes in something cardboard box that looks like Happy Meals, but with a little bit of graphic about this. At least, mate, you can be happy. Burger King plans to release plant-based Impossible Whopper nationwide by end of year, so you can get that one.
So Burger King's getting on the blasphemy train.
Well, isn't the Impossible Burger and the Impossible Meat artificial meat, or not artificial, but lab-grown meat? So I don't know how plant-based it really is. But it's vegan.
I don't know. But when you have things that are one thing and they're labeled as something else, that's a lie.
Oh, poor you.
Well, it might not have been my intention, but speaking of saying one thing and meaning another, Borderlands 3, will it or won't it have microtransactions? At the event that they just had this week, Randy Pitchford was up on stage and was saying that they would not have microtransactions, yet followed that up at the same time stating that there would be cosmetic items for sale. And it's kind of a bit of a contradiction. Basically, what he was trying to say, at least as far as I understood, and others who kind of had takeaways from that, was that there wouldn't be loot boxes, there wouldn't be the predatory microtransaction type stuff that has gotten so much attention in the news media, but that there will be things like DLCs, there will be other cosmetic items that you can purchase directly, just like there were in previous Borderlands games.
Okay, so another case of Randy Pitchford putting his foot in his mouth.
Well, he didn't stop there. Game Informer posted an article the same day, and then he seemed to go on a little bit of a Twitter campaign trying to out them and kind of insult and call their headline and stuff like clickbaity and whatnot. But, basically they stood by their article. They're like, look, we quoted what you said, and we quoted what is stated. And, since then, 2K has come out and confirmed that there will be, these cosmetic microtransactions, but they're just supposed to be quote-unquote fun customizations like heads and skins. So, again, cosmetic, nothing that affects, the actual gameplay other than the way that you look. And then there will be, additional campaign DLCs that come out along the way.
Okay, fair enough. Well, I did see that a few of the non-gaming press even noticed this and started roasting Randy again. And various PR people in the gaming business have been tweeting that somebody should take the Twitter away from Randy, or at least put some kind of security on so they have to verify everything he tweets.
Honestly, I think this is another one of those knee-jerk reaction things. He read it, reacted to it before he had a chance to think about it. Or maybe he did think about it, but didn't think of potential repercussions. Look, if you kind of drill down to a definition of a microtransaction, the cosmetic stuff that they'll be selling, that fits the definition of a microtransaction. So to stand there and say there won't be microtransactions, but we will sell cosmetic items is a complete contradiction. And it's cool that it's been clarified that they were talking about not having loot boxes and stuff like that. But yeah, that specific statement is a bit of a contradiction.
So he said something, then he said the opposite. Then somebody reported on it, and then he threw a Twitter fit. Is he running for president?
Oh, I'm not surprised you went there.
Sorry, it was the easiest one.
Yeah, and the last thing we've got today is if you've been enjoying your freebies on the Epic Games Store, apparently that practice is going to continue through the rest of 2019. They're celebrating due to the amount of sales that they've had with World War Z, and apparently a good launch for Satisfactory. So, they've said that they're going to continue the process of freebies throughout the rest of this year, or at least for that long anyway. We don't know yet if it'll continue into 2019 at all. They are, however, having to delay their roadmap for about 1 to 2 months, depending on the features, as they're continuing to focus efforts on supporting some online features for some of these new game launches. So, they're trying to make sure that the things that are going out the door are being supported while still, working on features to the store that should have already been in there when the thing launched.
I think it's good news with World War Z and Satisfactory. I've not played World War Z, but Satisfactory, yeah, seemed to be quite popular. And more freebies is also very welcome. A better Epic Store, also welcome.
Yeah, and I don't know if you saw this or not, but I guess they made an announcement at GDC that they had done some kind of partnership with Humble Bundle. And due to this article now, I'm just learning about that. So I guess at GDC they announced this partnership, and so now you can do things like you can buy Metro Exodus, Dangerous Driving, and Borderlands 3 is going to be an Epic exclusive for at least, I think it was 6 months. You can also order that through the Humble store.
Yeah, I noticed at the time and figured that was, not overly relevant, not overly interesting, but that's just me because I don't really PC game that much.
I feel so sad for you.
Yeah, you should. Humble mostly have PC stuff. They occasionally have console stuff, but that is very rare.
And that is our weekly wrap-up. So thanks for sticking with us.
Don't forget to hit a like and a little bell button if you're on the YouTubes, or just, like our page if you're on Facebook. And as always, we're coming out pretty much every Monday and Friday with news, and every Wednesday either with a interview, game developer, indie developer interviews usually, but also the occasional upcoming games, and I think there's an upcoming comic shop talk, so look forward to that one.